Let me express my thanks to all the panelists, our co-host, and all the participants here. I think I would not be exaggerating if I say that we are going back from this hall more learned, more educated, with the presentations made here or talks given here. Even if we already knew some of the facts and information, the session has reminded us many facts and in fact motivated us to know more about the situation, about the happenings going on, and about the processes, procedures, laws, and whatever is being done all over the world under the UN umbrella. So that gives us motivation as well as realization that there is a big challenge, and whatever is happening, it is not enough. So we need to do something else. A lot of concerns are there. This is true. And many of these concerns have been expressed here. In fact, one can say that this was not any exhaustive list that has been shared here by different speakers. Perhaps more seminars are needed to create realization that what kind of concerns should be recognized, and then, of course, once you recognize something, you go to resolve the issues. It was rightly reminded to us that oceans, though are recognized under different names, but fundamentally it is one. And it was also rightly pointed out that they are interconnected, and it is crucial to our lives. Human actions are causing a lot of destruction and damage. This was again and again highlighted. There is now a law in place, but there are gaps. And those gaps are needed to be addressed. And that the UN has taken initiative for developing an international legally binding instrument, we were told. But as it happens, when you are working in the global arena, it takes a lot of time to develop consensus and to finally come to an agreement. So it is taking time, and it will take time. Also, it was rightly stressed, I think Malia said this, that all 17 SDGs are directly linked to any achievement that we are going to make under the SDG 14, which is related to oceans. So that is an extremely important thing for all the policy makers all over the world, that whatever you want to achieve in any of the SDG, you will have to focus on the oceans. And it is always good to note that UN is taking initiative on something. And when we are talking of the oceans, we are reminded that since last around 30 years, a day is being celebrated on 8th June, which has also motivated us to hold this program today. And now a decade related to ocean is being celebrated, and we have already passed 1 year, as DG NIMA pointed out in his talk. An important thing is that there is an increasing realization, and that has been discussed here also, that a behavioral change is required. In fact, if it is increasing, this realization is increasing, it is satisfying for all those who are having these concerns and who cite these concerns. But there is a problem when I heard all these talks and when I go through the developments that are taking place, not only with reference to the SDG 14, but all the SDGs. And the way the world is being governed. So here we talked about the management paradigm. I think the video highlighted that. But can we think that without having good global governance, we can have a good ocean governance? I think this question brings me to the dilemma that the world is facing today. The dilemma is related to the paradigm of getting versus giving. Now, when we talk of exploitation, whether it is related to the ocean or about our Earth or our planet or any community, this is basically a reflection that the world or that community or that particular area is being governed under the getting paradigm. Because giving paradigm asks you to share, to care others. And the dilemma is that the whole governance model of today's government, it is basically driven by the getting paradigm. Whether you talk of a big country or whether you talk a particular group, and we know what kind of wealth distribution is here in today's world, whether it is a very rich country or a small country. It is because the paradigm is to maximize the wealth, to maximize the profit, and that normally comes when you exploit things. So whether it is law, whether there are policies, whether there are regulations, and we have a lot of evidence in our country. So the question is it possible to have good ocean governance without having a good global governance? And before I conclude at this question, I am reminded of one of the jokes that is shared with reference to the ocean. I'm sure many of you might have heard it, but perhaps it is necessary to relate it to this whole discussion. Because this humor or jokes, they also represent a lot of wisdom. Now, it is a conversation between a fish and a baby fish. The baby fish asks her mother, you know it, why is it that we can't go to the earth? Why we remain in the sea? The mom responded, earth is for selfish and we are fish. So the earth is facing the problem that it is being governed by the selfish people. That is the paradigm of today's world. And I think with all those ideas that have come here, they are important. And we need to focus on that. We need to make our contribution what we can make. But that would not be enough. Whether it is 2030 or even beyond that, all these efforts will be incomplete unless simultaneously, or rather more importantly, this paradigm of global governance is not addressed. With this, I once again thank all the speakers, all the participants, and we look forward to many such sessions because there were questions, and I think while some of the questions were responded, but the questions highlighted that there is need to have more sessions with the experts. Every expert cannot be able to address everything. So there were questions and there were many more questions. There would be many more questions in your minds. I think we shall be, inshallah, organizing more sessions to achieve something even more in future. Thank you very much.